Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Jeremy Jones, joined by Joey Gray here at the Las Vegas Diamond Pro Open. Two great players here, Jayson Shaw and Jeffrey DeLuna. We have could be the finals. Seems like every match. Joey, any thoughts?
Yeah, definitely. Both of these guys are unbelievably talented, very powerful players. Pretty surprising that they have Shaw such a favorite over him. I guess 822 over 795 Fargo is pretty stellar, but
And it's Fargo based as far as how they break those numbers down, the percentages. You might look at it, it's probably a little bit, sometimes looks a little off, but I think it's more of a you got to start somewhere kind of deal, right? It's
yeah,
going to improve,
definitely.
improve.
But yeah, this is definitely could be a final showdown for sure. These guys are both hungry and playing extremely well.
Yeah, we have this Las Vegas Diamond Pro Open followed up by the the Predator World 10 Ball, excuse me. And just to tell you something about that 64-man field, is DeLuna had to win a qualifier to get in that next week.
Yeah, that is pretty strong. They're having another qualifier here in Vegas, I believe, right?
Yeah, I think they're having a one-day qualifier between. As soon as this tournament ends, they'll have a one-day that will actually bring us up to our final spot.
Which will be completely loaded with champions as well. That's
Yeah.
what that does go to show how strong that 64-man field will be.
Yeah, and that goes with many countries represented and a few invitations.
Well, here we go. Jayson to lead off. Nice 6-ball right in the side.
Yeah,
Made
what's
a
the
four-railer.
one going to do? And he turned his head knowing it's going to get froze on that rail and really make this opening shot very difficult.
Look at this break. And if that ball just comes off the rail 1 inch, tic-tac-toe,
Yeah, and do you play like a rail first here, hoping the one doesn't catch the point, try to move the one towards the 5 and bring the cue ball across maybe behind the 9? I mean,
That sounds really touchy. I don't know. What do you think about a rollout? I mean,
well,
a tough spot here.
I'd have to really feel good about the rollout.
Yeah.
You could shoot through the 1 and creep the cue ball up on the 5. Another
like
shot.
One
you
pocket shot.
Yeah, you got to worry about the point also. So he's going to move the 3 to the side rail, knowing that he's probably not going to get this back, meaning DeLuna's going to play the 1 down below the 9 and 10 and come across behind the 3 or something like that. But
just hoping maybe he can get a better look than what he had.
yeah, decent kick shot, maybe some type of thin hit to run the cue ball safe, and he might get this back. I mean, if DeLuna doesn't like it, DeLuna's thinking the same thing, meaning this doesn't have to be that great of a safety no matter who shoots it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, your touch has to be right on. I think, I honestly don't, I'm surprised he gave this back. I mean, banking it between the 9 and the 10, bringing the cue ball by the 3.
Yeah, he could really do some damage also with the safety. So it's one of those that if you hit well, you get a big reward.
Really good. Oh.
Yeah, no, he's fine.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I was really surprised that he gave that back. Maybe he didn't, maybe he just wasn't trusting the angle.
Well, you usually want to execute before your opponent at this level, and that's pretty much every level if you ask what I think is correct.
Yeah.
It's just, I initially said he won't get it back, that being Jayson, because that's generally the theme when you roll out at a professional level. You don't get it back very often.
Yeah, that's a rare occurrence there. Now this kick shot, oof.
Pretty good.
And he came out smelling like a rose here.
He's in a good spot.
Definitely. I was thinking that kick shot, it's very makeable, playing 2 rails or going rail first off the bottom rail.
And it's the type of kick shot a lot of times, if the guys do hit it, which they do, they threaten that pocket a lot.
Mm-hmm. Now, yeah, you got to hit this ball solid. And this is, he's not going to let this one, he's not going to roll this ball, that's for sure.
Well, Jayson must be not quite as comfortable with the real close jump, because a lot of guys I've seen in the last couple of days on the close ones have been pretty successful jumping the ball.
Yeah, that looks like only about a half a ball.
Oh man, this might freeze on the end rail and make things very difficult for DeLuna.
Wow, yeah.
We always talk about the guys who have the real, like most powerful strokes in the game, meaning they can really turn up the speed and still hit the cue ball well.
Yeah.
And I always comment that DeLuna is probably the best at if I need 90%, which is rare these days,
I
and
would
still hit the
strongly
ball
agree.
well. Yeah.
He's elevating. He's definitely very accurate with these type shots.
Yeah, look at that.
Look at this shot, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow, shot of the tournament.
Wow.
That should get a standing ovation, I think.
I'm surprised the crowd isn't going wild on that one, because that was a monster shot.
Well, we can think of a couple different pool events that if they saw a shot like that, what would the crowd be doing?
Yeah, definitely.
And not taking anything away from the crowd. That's not what we're saying.
I think their jaws might be on the ground from it.
Right. A little jarred, right?
Yeah, because sometimes when somebody hits one that good, it's like, wow.
And I'll tell you, that could do a lot for Jeffrey. I mean,
Confidence-wise, right?
well, he's a what kind of player am I saying? He feeds off of himself more than a lot of players do. A lot of players don't try to get that,
Yeah.
beat flowing so much, right?
Yeah.
But when he does it, he can kind of just steamroll you.
Yeah, you can see whenever he hit that one, he kind of like whipped over, like he was
a
really,
little pep in his step and stuff. So a lot of guys want to stay a little bit more monotone and just robotish.
My oh my, what a stroke.
Robotic, I guess I should say, not ish.
And I like how we were telling everybody about that power, and he really he proved us right,
Yeah, well, I think it's known pretty well throughout the pool, at least the professional side, as far as there's a few guys that can really turn it up, and his opponent is one of those guys as well.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, two powerful players for sure.
Yeah, and they both also, it's amazing to me, and it's almost every sport that the guys with the most power seem to have some of the best touch also. It's we know guys that have the power game in the sport and the guys that have that touch game, but the
total package, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, the great players that have one of those, they usually have the other also.
Now look at the percentages. Got really to a coin flip just because of that one game.
Well, it might have been just because of that one shot.
Yeah. That would definitely change the percentages a lot.
Yeah, so
a lot of really good matches going on all around. This is a awesome setup tonight. You can really see it's getting more pressure packed. All these matches are really huge.
Yeah, and Predator and CSI and all of them have done a great job putting this together.
Oh yeah, the lighting. This is everything. This TV arena is probably one of the best I've seen as a setup. They're doing a great job.
Okay, DeLuna, here we have the Las Vegas Open. I calling it the Pro Open. It is a true open event, but definitely a ranking event. One you're going to get points from and considered for many things if you win.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, DeLuna, when I watched him practice, he wasn't giving it 100% with the big leg kick, Don't stand behind DeLuna when he breaks the balls.
Definitely. I'm curious to see how wide he goes, because I noticed a few players going a little wider than the rest and having a lot of success. Now he's about right in the middle of what I was talking about, a little wider than that. I was watching Carlo and Skyler when they were playing. They were pretty wide.
And watch the back foot come up. I don't think he can stop it from coming up. Maybe not as severe as usual, but no, really controlled.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't go to the qualifier he won in Dallas. Actually, it was in Arlington at Rusty's. But what I heard from many guys that just couldn't overcome the break.
Yeah.
The break was just too good.
That's a pretty good break right there. Now, if that one would have fell, it would have made things a lot easier. But
Yeah, this is a funny little shot because anytime you hit the ball and the cue ball is going to contact the rail so quickly on a full shot, it may not grab exactly how you want, and you can't quite just overcut it super thin. That's a nice shot.
yeah, that was a good touch.
And that's the way you want to hit it. Trust it's going to come out, because if you overhit it, it kind of hooks a little and loses the line of the cue ball. You have to kind of ease it out, you know.
Could have bent towards the 2 more and left him a funny shot.
One thing he always did have, though, was a 2-4 combination bank combination, excuse me, that if he had gotten a little steep on the 2, he could play that.
Yeah, he had a good lane there. A lot of room for error. Pretty textbook out here. I mean, just play the 4, just draw up for the 5.
You know, definitely play on the side, and you can see the entire left side of the table open. Just in case he gets a little thin on the 5, he can move the cue ball to the bottom rail and back up for the 6.
You think he's going to hit this ball full with draw, right?
Yeah, just slow draw it out. This is one you don't want to get away from you.
Yeah, that ball was pretty deep, yeah.
So this is that angle I was talking about. He doesn't have to hit that light stroke. He can just move the cue ball to the bottom rail and just let it come up for the 6 in the lower right-hand corner.
Yeah, he's got a good angle here. Natural, just come right up. Did he get far enough? Yeah, he did. This table plays pretty quick. Got to have a good touch. So, yeah, like you said, you know, these players having so much power and incorporating that touch as well. Now, that's what really makes the true talent, you know, because a lot of players can have power and not have any of that touch. It's hard to do.
It's almost like a player that has a real good cue ball, but really when, you know, they got to come with one, they're not quite as good at that. You know, that's another thing that's so amazing about these players is
having the best of both worlds, right?
Yeah, but they stay in line for like 6 racks in a row where they got to make like 4-foot shots, 5-foot shots, ones they like, but pressure's on, they got to make a great shot, and they still are able to bury it most of the time. But DeLuna, everyone's known his talent for, you know, I've known about it 7, 8 years, I'm guessing, something like that. But he's another player that I talked about, another player earlier, very similar to where, you know, I think he's coming into his own as far as getting used to the big moments, the big situations, playing the best players in the world. You know, like maybe the nerves got a little the best of him at times. And not just physically, but, you know, shot selection-wise, where you have to learn to calm yourself and stuff like that.
Yeah, recognizing whenever you're feeling the pressure, and then being able to center yourself, walk the table, and mature. Yeah, I guess maturing your game, like you're saying, coming into his own.
Well, yeah, and, you know, it's any professional individual sport, you come in trying to be yourself fully, but a lot of times you have to learn to become somebody a little different and win. Like, you know, a filler still just does what filler wants to do. And maybe the players will slow him down a little bit, and they have a little to an extent, but some players, they have to, like, you know, come in and learn a little different way of thinking or a little different way of
controlling that adrenaline.
Exactly, yeah, whatever. You know, they thought this routine would work, but it doesn't work quite at this level.
Yeah,
you know,
so they're constantly adjusting.
Exactly, and learning something new in a sense. You know, of course, DeLuna, he knows how to play.
Oh,
you know,
yeah, definitely knows
any
how
doubt
to play.
about that.
But Jayson, you know, I think his game has matured so much.
Prime example.
I mean, you know.
Well, he'll tell you himself that he didn't respect the game as much at first because of how talented he was, and he could do so many things. But
little kiss there wasn't friendly.
Yeah, but now you'll see he very much, you know, I wouldn't say a student. He is a student of the game, but I mean he respects it. He's going to make sure he knows a mistake is huge.
Oh yeah.
And how difficult the game is.
I mean, he's won everything, you know. I mean, and looking to do so again.
And no great path here. He may go for this. I don't know. He's queuing. Is he queuing to bank it back underneath him?
That's what I was thinking. It
I think that's
natural,
the best shot, really.
Yeah, definitely.
And
as
it's
long
the
as it doesn't go
safest
too
shot.
deep, get above the 2. Oh, he executed it perfect.
Great effort.
And it was almost like a 2-way.
Oh, it definitely was. I mean, with the 8 and the 6 there.
Because even if he hangs it, yeah, it's leaving him in a difficult spot. behind the back.
He's got a little angle, so he's good. No real threat.
Yeah.
Well, this is our, I think, 9th match probably in 2 days, and I don't think I know of one with more firepower collectively between the two players than this one.
Oh, it's awesome. And, it's like where you get down 2-0, it's easy to get down on yourself and make a mistake. And you see it. I mean, the execution there, just stellar to come back with a great bank like that, letting your opponent know you're still there,
Oh, absolutely. Well, he wants the angle to move the cue ball a couple rails towards the 8, or for position on the 8, excuse me.
Natural. Perfect. Hit it great.
Is he going 4 rails here? He's hitting awfully
sure.
high on the cue ball. Nice shot.
Yeah, then that's, most players would just float that 2 rails with the outside English. That's a lot of confidence right there, but he's trusting using that center ball. Gives it more natural hit, right?
Yeah, and I think he was right on the edge, right on the border of you could go either way. It was just like if he had stopped just an inch shorter, he just goes the 2 rails. It just kind of preference again.
But, yeah, I guess it's one of those scenarios, no matter what you do, you can't get indecisive. You just see it, do it. Be deliberate with your decision-making.
And these guys are playing, of course, every day, so that gut instinct is even stronger, meaning he got down on it. Initially probably said 4 rails, and that's what he went with.
There was never a question, yeah.
Right. Did well. DeLuna, though, up, you could say a break of serve at 2-1. Our last match was a little one-sided and not really any of Tyler Steyer's fault. He made a mistake at the end with missing a breaking shot. I don't even think that cost him the game, actually, but
it was
overall, it was just some awful kisses.
Demoralizing breaks, and there was nothing he could do.
No, there was one dry break and then 2 awful kisses for scratches in the corner, and then Oy took full advantage and played great behind it.
He really
can't take anything away from him.
His touch was on point. That safety he played where he locked him up on the 4-8.
Yeah, thin in the 1.
Wasn't the easiest shot.
No, not pinned on the end rail.
Unbelievable, yeah.
Okay, DeLuna.
Broke him perfect last time.
And
really gets the elevation, doesn't he?
Yeah, 50, 60%, something like that.
Probably more like 40 for this guy's power.
Oh, he put a little more into that one.
He did.
That leg went up a little bit.
Look at that. Look at this break.
Yeah.
Stop that cue ball on a dime.
Yeah, and the 4's in such a good spot to get on that 5 that's a little tucked away on the side rail.
Yeah, he could even overrun it maybe and run into the 5, which he probably wouldn't want to do, but just in case, if that's the worst case scenario.
It's a little tricky getting on the 2 properly to get nice and full on the 4 in the side. That's what you want, so you can just stop your ball and shoot that little window between the 9-7. But it is a little tricky getting from the 1. Like I said, you almost want to get like straight in with a hair of an angle, but then you're kind of risking getting snookered. So he's going to get that long straight. Okay, so I'm looking right down the barrel. If he hits a dead straight contact, he's okay. If he cheats the pocket a little bit to the fat side, he could go towards the 9 with the cue ball.
Yeah, he's definitely got to play this.
It's got to be precise.
Like you said, if he cheats that pocket, it could be trouble.
Yeah, the fun side of the pocket sends him towards the 9 with the cue ball. Oh, he hit it great. Now, this is what you were talking about, to where he may be able to get into the 5 ball with the cue ball.
Yeah, and he got almost perfect on that little shot. If he uses a little bit of outside or inside English to throw the 5 just a touch, maybe.
Now,
or really just roll it. Yeah.
He could draw into the 9 and hit fully. I mean, that's an option. You would think still what you said. Overcut the 4 to the fat side of the pocket and a little cannon into the 5 lightly. Yeah, like that.
Yeah. I mean, he might have hit that a little more full than he intended, but
the 4 ball, I think it kind of drug a little bit.
Yeah, it looked like it didn't, because I think he was trying to clip the 5 and stay on that same side.
Yeah, you wouldn't normally want to hit it full if you could push it down the rail, if you had the option of both.
Well,
Okay.
worked out.
I
So
think he
he's
can come one rail between the 9-10, right?
is he just gonna draw it back and play the corner?
Yeah, like
Oh,
this
okay.
for the
Okay.
6 in the side. And that, ooh, it's close.
Yeah, to me it looked like he was elevating on that with low. I couldn't see the angle, but
He was just trying to make it check a little more off the rail.
yeah, force a little bit.
Mm-hmm. And I think he's close enough to where he can still slowly draw this in with a heavy right-hand ball. Or cue ball go towards the 7.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
And that's all about allowing it to happen, giving
Mhm.
it time, meaning a lot of people really want to overhit that draw.
Well, you get quick right there. And
Well, and you got to aim thinner if that's the case because you don't allow the throw to happen. Okay. Nice shot.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, these guys practice so much. I mean, these touchy little shots, they're not easy, especially under the pressure. But for players with their caliber, at their caliber, and as much as they practice, the work, I mean, really shows.
Yeah, and one thing that people really don't talk about when it comes to that practicing is, of course, precision is involved, meaning it's going to make you more precise, it's going to make timing better, but your decisions, your instinct on decisions becomes so much better when you're practicing.
Yeah, it's just like second nature, quick.
Yeah, well, it's quick, and when you need to make a tough decision, like I was talking about that gut, that gut instinct, it really plays in this game.
Yeah, you don't
when
get
it comes
indecisive.
yeah, sometimes when you're playing well, I don't know, it just seems to tell you the right thing more often is what I'm getting at.
Exactly. Well, perfection. Played that out really well. And made sure he overran that mark on the 4 instead of trying to get too perfect. And played it perfect.
Yeah, really hit the 2 ball well. If he misses the 2 to the pocket at all, he's in trouble. Hit it right to the right side of the pocket. And knew he might overdraw a little bit for the 4, but he could handle that.
Mm-hmm. Now, Jayson's got to come with another good return. Just holding your serve and then hoping for your opponent to make a mistake. That's the alternate break. A lot of people think it's hard to come back whenever you're down in alternate break format, which it is. But, I mean, one dry break can be 3 games.
Yeah, it's the same as getting in the deficit. You would think if you think like that, well, it's hard to get down 4-1 also then, but it happens all the time.
Yeah, exactly. We saw Fedor come back on Albin.
Mm-hmm.
That was a monster comeback, too. And Albin, I wasn't sure if he made very many mistakes or not, but
No, they both played pretty well.
and I mean up 5-1 and lost. It just the balls they can decide it for you.
Well, 3-1 here, and
Big game though, definitely big game.
and both guys that broke the balls well. We've seen some fantastic, highlights already in this match in just a few games. The 1 ball banked by Jayson, and of course the 1 ball drawing the length of the table, or it wasn't the 1 ball, but the ball that Jeffrey drew back. Okay, those are broke perfectly. Is the 1 and the cue ball going to agree with each other? And that's a big no.
Oh, goodness gracious. He got a nasty little graze from one of those balls coming back.
Yeah, he's not snookered. The 1's about 2.5 inches from the bottom of the pocket, and he doesn't have a shot.
Pretty hard to land the 1 there and not, I mean, gosh, he broke him perfect.
And he's got to elevate here and mass the cue ball off the 1 to make sure he gets the 1 out away from the pocket. So watch out for some kind of awful kiss or this corner down by the 2.
Is he looking to go behind the 2 here? Okay.
Well, he was afraid of going right into the 5 if he hit real heavy on the 1. So that happens a lot. That's a tendency of you lose track of what you're doing with the 1 ball because the shot's all about the 1.
Yeah, controlling the object.
Yeah,
ball.
you got to just take a chance on as far as the cue ball.
I wonder what, is he thinking that he touched the 1 ball?
That I'm not sure. I actually wasn't
Did you think it was a double hit, maybe?
I'm not sure. He was shooting away from it.
Yeah.
pretty hard to double hit it, actually.
Yeah. I don't know what he was questioning there. But either way, it's his shot. Let's see if he can float that ball over there.
Side pocket, watch out. I can tell you, didn't really address it with a ton of side spin. Can he cheat this and soft draw the ball between the 6-8, or does he have to come back on the line he's on now, which is fine.
But I'm almost looking at, yeah, it looks like he can, yeah, he's definitely drawing. But he's going to have to.
Ooh, let it out again.
Let it out. How perfect did he hit this ball?
Yeah, and he almost got too perfect to where he's got to go forward with the cue ball and take a longer shot on the 4, which is no problem because the 5's near.
Very powerful draw stroke on this guy.
Yeah, you might see another one right here.
Yeah.
If he's falling just a hair towards the inside of that pocket, he may draw this back past the 5 and all the way back up. Because otherwise he has to shoot for a gap, or he has to kind of force it 2 rails with top English to get between the 7-8.
I think he might.
I think he might be letting it go here. See, that's the angle I'm talking about.
Yeah.
He might.
I was thinking he might just roll and take the shot. But he drew it right in between them. That was a good shot. Use the 5 as like a stopper, kind of.
Yeah, knowing that, hey, I can let my stroke out as long as I hit that line right there.
Yeah. It was still very touchy. Well, we know the draw stroke isn't a problem. So in case that situation ever arises again, we know what pattern he's probably going to go.
Yeah. Well, DeLuna's got all the shots. It's really, I think it's been that case for some time. I think it's been a little bit more of getting used to these settings and maturing a little as a player, which is nothing wrong with that at all. Say it all the time, you know, can't all players come out winning huge tournaments right when they hit the pro scene. It's just not really the way it happens. You see a few, but you know, you see a filler and you see some guys like that
explode on the scene.
Sure, Federer, and of course the game's getting younger like every other sport. But still, it takes a little while to beat these seasoned great players.
So big game there. Jayson with a little unlucky kiss on the break led to a pretty poor safety.
Yeah, it was a funny shot, though. That's not one you practice very often, I don't think.
Of course not, but
that's that instinct, though, of knowing what to do with it. And he, like I said, he just probably put a little too much emphasis on the cue ball.
Yeah.
And he knew initially that he wanted to get the 1 over, but then he started looking down table. Where am I really going with this cue ball? And then he kind of played the cue ball a little more than the 1.
Yeah. And he might have thrown it like with a little
lot
more
of
spin than he intended.
Yeah.
Because if he hits it full with the center ball, he gets more of the draw.
Sure.
Yeah.
And he was worried about maybe going right into that 5 and 8 that were near the cue ball. But
yeah, just like you said, a shot that doesn't really show up a whole lot unless you're playing one pocket or something. You know? And that shot doesn't show up very often then either.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure if Jayson, if he knew it, if that 1 ball had come back and touched the cue ball, or if he fouled the cue ball, he would have given it up. I've seen him do it many occasions.
Well, let's see if he can repeat this break that he is executing extremely well. Elevates nicely and then comes up and gets a really good pop on the ball. Very powerful. He stopped the cue ball on a dime again and got a little kiss. Look out. Wow, reprieve for Jayson.
And Jayson, of course, with ball in hand, a huge favorite when the balls are open. Got to make a little bit of this froze ball 1 ball right here. So he's got to come out to the center of the table and probably take a 2-rail angle around in between the 6-8 and back down table. Is that right? Just stun the ball out to the center. I wouldn't flirt coming.
Yeah, just
front.
drawing it underneath the 7.
No, I just come above it myself.
Okay.
Yeah, like that.
Okay.
Because I want to guarantee the angle always. I'm not worried about being close.
From this angle, it definitely looks a little better. From the above, I was thinking he could go underneath it, but you're right. Definitely maintaining that angle and keeping it simple.
Yeah, and if you draw it, that means you got to get it going.
Yeah, and you have to do
might get behind the 8. If you get it going, it might keep going.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, so that's a nice line on the cue ball, it looks like.
Very, very good touch. You float this ball 2 rails, play it in the side.
If I have the side, I play it. I don't force anything here. I don't think.
Yeah, because that 7 ball can get tricky if you
I
do
might even
something.
play the corner.
Yeah.
Okay, he could stun it.
Okay. He hit that ball really well. Now I see the 7 ball was still kind of in play. I mean, but not when you execute like this guy and you trust it. Big game. It looked like DeLuna took quite a bit off on that break.
Well, he didn't intend spinning the ball like that, so that was a mishit as far as that. Now, he got the cue ball to squat right there. That was kind of
But you're right, it was spinning.
Oh, yeah. It was
sideways spinning, not
pretty much.
Yeah.
So he'll pull this by the 7 all the way up. No reason to come out to the center here.
Nice. Get to the end rail and just have a nice little natural angle.
Yeah, just kind of chip the 6 in, and I would go ahead and come on down. That way you can handle a little past the 7, no problem, and you can handle a little short of it, but no reason to be way short, right? So go ahead and come on down with the cue ball like that.
And does
knowing it,
the 8 go past the 10?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
it goes.
Yeah, definitely. Not a question with the way he played that.
And he's got to make up 2 breaks, I believe, right? No, he breaks off at 4-2, so he needs to just make up 1 more. Yeah, 2 breaks total, excuse me.
Yeah, if he can deliver a good break and run here and put the heat back on DeLuna. Yeah, like we saw with Tyler. I mean, you know, if you start breaking and getting a little unlucky or just not breaking perfectly, then I mean, you can really lose your way quickly in this format. Some close matches looking over. Chip Compton, Dennis Grabe, 5-5. And Kevin Chang, and I'm not aware of his opponent.
No, me either. Looks to me to be, I believe, also Chinese Taipei. Might be Chinese.
Yeah, we'd have to check that one out, but it's 6-5 Kevin Chang.
Good look at DeLuna there a moment ago. And
so the percentages, 70-30 from this situation, which probably seems, I mean,
actually,
accurate.
that seems pretty good. Actually, I think as the games diminish, of course, the same percentages aren't the breakdown, meaning if you have a 1-game lead to 4 versus a 1-game lead to 7, that's much different, right? And I think the system recognizes that.
Mm-hmm. Well, big game. Definitely a big game.
Oh, perfect break.
Oof,
perfect break.
Definitely. You can hear that thump.
What's
that he
this
put
3
on
ball going to do?
Goodness gracious. Unfortunate.
Wow. And really almost, I mean, he could curve at it now. He could maybe reach a jump shot.
I don't know. That looks
He's
going to
try and do something over by the 8 and the 7, I think, as far as a rollout.
Yeah, you hate to have to roll out when you control the 1 right down there, and there's not very many balls that can possibly do any damage to you, and then the 3 just creeps right up.
I wonder if he's going to try and move the 7 down by the 10 here. 7's kind of covered up decent right now, right? So
maybe he's looking at where you can thin the 1. Or
off the rollout?
Yeah.
Well, that's a pretty tough angle to thin the 1. Okay, so is he looking at giving him more of the 1 to where it has to be pounded around, but it's hard to really get the snooker pounding the 1 around table?
I think he was trying to tie up the 4.
Well, the most important thing, though, is what's he leaving on the 1?
Yeah, I really don't know right here. I mean, as far as like what you said, pounding it with a little
I don't know.
high English, letting it bend 4 rails underneath these balls, it
doesn't look possible, right?
I don't think so.
This is
Or
one.
can he pocket the 1?
This is one if I was not 100% sure with a 4-2 lead, knowing it's not going to be easy, giving it back to Jayson no matter what, I give it back. Don't like to give it back very often. 4-2 lead on my opponent's break. I break next.
He's looking at that 4-railer. But what about just banking it 2 rails and just playing a simple
Little soft safety.
Yeah.
Like try to get another shot, huh?
Yeah, like just maybe try to get another return at the table. But he is looking at that 4-railer,
Is he
like
looking
you
at
said.
elevating on the cue ball here? No.
Goodness. Oh, he's thinking about 3-railing it, maybe bringing the cue ball over by the 2?
Yeah, but it's going to go long. It's not going to go short on this table, I don't think. Yeah, it's going to go long like that.
I mean,
Still a pretty good effort, huh?
it was.
And probably he called it as well. Yeah, Jeffrey's really good with the jump cues, so I'd be surprised if he played the rail first here. Because if he makes it, I think it's straight enough he holds position on the 2.
Yeah. He's definitely going in the air. He's got a little tiny angle where it might float over, but you got to think if he hits it full enough, right, it can hold. It looks a little tough, huh?
Yeah. I'd say he's a 60-40 to make it at least. Oh, yeah, he's definitely moving over.
Goodness. Where did this cue ball end up?
He's going to have to do it again.
Yeah. That was an excellent shot. I think he was trying to maybe hit it full enough to hold that cue ball, but I don't know if it was possible. But basically the same shot.
Yeah, he's got a little angle again, so if he makes this one, he may get shape on the 3 in the side.
Oof. Nice try. Now, the trouble
He wants
here.
the cue ball cleaned, I believe.
What do you try to do with the cue ball here to get on the 3?
I think I just like coming out of the corner 2 rails or 1 rail. 1 rail actually. Well, let me look how thin. Yeah, with just 1 rail up for the angle to come. I think you want to play from the 4 around in this area, a little left, a little down where the cue ball's at now.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to just come 1 rail up, have a little one rail angle on the 3. He's overhit this. This could pose some problems here, ladies and gentlemen.
Now, I was
Wow.
surprised that
I like the 1 rail also, but he really overhit it.
he had to rush because he was getting beeped. It seemed like the timing was just really off because he didn't want to run out of time.
Yeah, we've seen a few kind of have some problems with that.
Ooh.
What happened?
Did he
with the
get
cue
away
ball?
with it?
Well, that's where he
Look at
called
this.
it.
He did call it there.
That's where he called it, so
That's-
it's going to count.
That counts.
Don't
Now-
see it very often. Every now and again, playing 8-ball or
Jason's smiling. He knows he got away with one there, but he did have the safety. Not very often you see any of these guys call a pocket and luck it in there. Now, do you stick him on the 9 here?
looks like he's banking it.
Oh, I couldn't tell it when.
Great shot. Little off angle on the 7 here, so he's got to make a decision. Does he stun into the 9? Oh no, he's okay. He can hold. But he doesn't want to hit it lightly, so he may still get into the 9 with the cue ball.
Yeah.
Jayson doesn't like to hit this like with a light draw stroke.
Yeah,
Oh, nice shot.
yeah. He was sitting pretty there. Executed it well. Definitely a big game. Overran his mark on that 3 ball and really got away with it, didn't he?
Yeah, you don't see him miss much, and then they're playing call shot, so no matter how it gets there, it counts.
Yeah. What do they say in golf? The scorecards don't tell stories, right?
Mm-hmm. All right, Jayson Shaw, 4-3.
Now let's see if he goes a little bit more aggressive with this break. Because like you said, I think he did miss hit that last one.
Yeah. Jeffrey doesn't miss hit him much.
Yeah, not often.
Never would you want to, I don't think, break from the side rail from a head on like that, somewhat head on, and putting that heavy a spin.
Definitely a big game here. Yeah, this has been a really exciting event. A lot of really close matches. World champions at every table. Doesn't matter where you look, you're gonna see one. From a spectator standpoint, this is as good as it gets if you love pool. Elevating nicely. Let's see if he goes a little more aggressive on this one. Oh, he definitely went more aggressive on that one, and I'm not sure he's going to like it.
Well, he's got a little, well, he didn't make one.
Nope. I mean, look how many balls are by the head string. He smoked those balls. Maybe a little anger because of the roll Jayson got.
Well, he's playing great, though. He shouldn't. That's what I mean as far as DeLuna maturing a little bit as a player, I think, which with all that talent is going to lead towards more wins, in my opinion.
Definitely.
Just trying to get a look here on. Okay, so whoever goes on to win this match will play David Alcady of Spain. And that will be Friday at 2:30 p.m. Is he playing this? He's playing it, right? Or is he coming across just nicking it, trying to hook him on top of the six just lightly? Oh, he went heavy on it. That's surprising. You're taking a chance doing that. It could have hurt.
Yeah, I was thinking he would have had to have played that, but I'm not sure where the one ball would have went, and I couldn't tell if he could get deep enough.
Well, I thought he would just, once I saw him playing safe, I thought he'd just rub it, right, and lay on top of the six, like just a couple inches on top, and let the one just be buried underneath.
Yeah, kind of like what he did, but just not as
risky, yeah. And I believe the loser of this match is going to go on to play Skylar Woodward.
Okay.
I think I'm going to get that.
I think that's right.
Confirmed. Okay, I think he's got a little bit of a pocket to play the one off the rail, off the 5-3 if he wanted to jump this ball. You know what I mean? And cut it back towards the rail. Now, we saw him pass up on a close jump, but a lot of guys aren't passing up on this jump right here.
No, and I think you're right. He could play it and get the cue ball up table, too, to get some kind of a decent safety.
Yeah.
But he went ahead and just shot it that way. Now
he's going to be locked up or locked up.
Yeah,
he's either going to chip the one and run the cue ball, or he's going to put the cue ball behind the 5-3. One of the two.
I like the 5-3 shot for sure, but I mean, you know, the clip or the chip
shot. Well, the one thing about the clip is that if you do get the first foul, it's easier to 3-foul that way.
When they're all tied up right there.
Yeah, because you got to look at the fouls anyways, because the 6-8 is tied up, right? So I'm looking to probably chip this ball and run the cue ball. Now, there's a problem with that. The one could end up some kind of playable shot with the kick, meaning could be a playable easy kiss shot if you kick and kind of get dead on you, but it's a chance you got to take, I think. I think you could really get this one in a lot of, like here. That's what I'm talking about.
That was a good shot.
And you see now what Jayson has to make a real decision on. Do I take a chance of getting 3 fouled here, or do I take more of a little bit of a rip to where I open this up if I'm probably going to scratch? So
I think he's going to have to try to break him up.
He's going to hit it light and try and lay on top of it. And it's going to go a little long on him. Oh, wow. What a great shot.
Round of applause for that shot.
Touche.
Yeah. I would think Jeffrey thought he had him completely pinned there. I mean, we did too.
And another nice shot. So the first guy that has to kick at it and lay it underneath the one is going to have the worst of it, right, Joey?
Definitely. looks like Kevin Chang lost Hill and Chip Compton lost 7-5.
It used to be a rule way back when playing rotation that you couldn't play safe to the same rail more than after 3 times somebody had to shoot away. Or
Really?
they give up ball in hand, yeah.
Huh. I never heard that rule.
Really?
I think I might have heard it, but I
Yeah,
just
because
never.
I think you're in your area, the Midwest Tour, I think Evan and Danley might still play that rule.
They might.
Yeah, because
I just never seen it come up, to be honest.
I think it was a tournament at Shooters in Olathe a long time ago that I learned that rule.
That's really interesting. But it's a good way to speed things up. I mean, because people could just sit there and do this. I mean, this could be a long game.
Yeah, you stalemate kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like you don't want to give up anything here. Now, is he going to run this?
It's getting closer and closer.
Well, Jayson could run this if he wanted. He doesn't have to play the light one here. He's not going to be happy with that.
Yeah.
DeLuna's going to cut this in.
Oh, definitely. And try to come in between the 10 and the 2, or just run into the 2, right?
Yeah, I would just go at it, Play my comfortable speed. I mean, you got to do a lot of work to run out, right? So emphasis on making this ball. Don't try and get cute doing something else. If something unlucky happens, well, that's just unlucky. Mm-hmm. He can get on the 3-5 now.
I think he's got a shot, yeah. And if he gets on the 3-5 on the bottom side, about like on the line of the kitchen, the head string.
Maybe break them balls out.
Yeah.
If the 7 wasn't there, I probably would do that. I don't think he's going to go that far. Yeah, I think he's just going to play it there and, may get an opportunity.
Where's the 3 going to go here? Just straight across over
Yeah,
by the
probably
7?
could kiss the cue ball, kind of. Just depends on what speed he plays it. If he plays it light, I think he spins out for a shot on the 3 in the same corner. It did catch the cue ball.
Got the kiss.
It got kind of straight, though, too.
Didn't land with the best of angles, did he?
Yeah, and Jeffrey's is saying in whatever language you want to pick, work with me, guys.
Can I get a roll?
Yeah. I think you're close like this on a slidey table. You can cheat it, though, and get the cue ball out. Yeah, like that. Wow, he got a lot on that. He needs it to slow down just a little bit.
Now, this is where, do you look to go 3 rails and try to break the 6 out, like play a billiard on it?
You got there already.
Yeah.
That's where you got. Not saying that that's where you were trying to get, but it's just as easy as any other way to play the ball, pretty much. And it has a future.
Yeah. I like that. It definitely has a future.
That's what I like about the shot. Why not? At least you can win with the shot.
How did he hit it?
Yeah, great.
Wow.
If you try to come back behind it, well, you can't even get out. You have to play safe on the 6,
Yeah.
right? So,
I
and
was
it's just
wondering
as hard
really
a shot, right?
if he was going to play safe on the 4.
Oh, I got you, yeah. And I think maybe if he, wow, that's way hard. So I think he'll bank at this. Well, I don't know. Looking at the monitor tells me it's a little more cut, but when you're close to it, these guys like to shoot at this type.
Definitely. And
He's
would
lefty
say,
and stretching.
The safety is there, but
Oh, he might be cutting it.
You think he's just going to float him behind the 8, right?
No. Well, you better get that snooker.
He didn't get there. Definitely didn't get there. The only benefit, I guess, for the shot is that he got the cue ball close to the rail. But that's definitely not his best attempt.
If Jayson wants to play the snooker, he's just got to bank the 7 to the middle of the end rail and float behind the 9. Doesn't really have a great angle to try and go 2 rails behind the 10 or any of that. So if he wants to use the 9, the 7 needs to just go directly to the middle of the end rail like that. And then hope you float behind that 9. And that's just all he had,
Yeah. You can't get too cute, I guess, with a lot of spin. Try to throw it back up table because you might catch the ball too thick.
Yeah, get away from you. And the cue ball could get away from you as well. Jeffrey likes cut these balls in at the pool room. I know that. I've seen him do it a lot. We'll see what he does here. This one's a little thin.
Is he elevated over the 9 a little?
He's putting him behind the 8. Slow drag. Oh, no, he banked at it. It's going to leak on him. Well, no. Jason's going to the jump cue.
Well, this is the most innings I've seen in a game since I've been here. A lot of safeties going on in this game right here, and a couple attempts. He might have got him a hair, didn't he?
Yeah, no, he's gotten him decent. I mean, thing is, he could really jump this with his playing cue if he wanted. This is where you have to learn to aim full or more full than what you think. The tendency is to overcut because the ball's in the air, like that. So you have to actually learn to look at the shot a little more full to begin with, and then you'll figure it out what the aim point is. People don't realize the ball's in the air, so a lot of times when it's making contact on that object ball,
it hits it even thinner.
Exactly.
Than you anticipate, yeah. Now, just gotta really trust your execution here.
Yeah, this is what you practice for, these types.
And you know, this is something I was gonna say. You know how these guys, when you play one pocket, you notice a lot of players get out of stroke whenever they're moving a lot, and they've played so many safeties.
Right.
You know that they've fallen out of their rhythm a little bit.
I don't know if he has an entire pocket here, Joey.
It's definitely tight.
Yeah,
Oof. Yeah, falling out of their rhythm a little bit. This hasn't been their best game. A lot of safeties and a lot of different shots. Touchy shots, bank shots. But DeLuna's going to get the best of it, it looks like.
Yeah, Shaw will be breaking off at 5-3.
Yeah, he's a little disappointed there. But you're right. I mean, that was a really tight pocket. It wasn't a guaranteed
It appeared
shot.
so anyways.
He almost had to play it to the inside.
Point, maybe?
Yeah.
That angle, it might bobble on the point. It wasn't like going down the rail like this 9-ball is or something like that.
Yeah, he was in a tough spot. I mean, it wasn't.
Is he going top inside here? Okay. And I agree with that right there. If short side tells you it's simple, there's nothing wrong with short side. Especially on the case ball.
Good shot. Well, big game there for Shaw.
And Kachi just started his match with Lou, or actually he's warming up still. Some matches running over today.
Billy Thorpe playing Matt Edwards.
And what's the score there?
I think it's 5-2 Billy, I believe.
Well, they've both been playing great. I watched them play yesterday. Billy actually stepped away for a moment when he said he made a mistake, but played pretty flawless when I saw it. And I watched Matt Edwards play his match the round before a bit. He looked pretty in form. Another guy who's really, really improved, Mr. Edwards, been around playing and getting more invitations to play in some of these bigger events, which has really helped his game, I think.
Oh, definitely. You know, getting the exposure and just being around this environment can only help you improve at any level.
Well, and I think it not only technically on the table, but you see a bunch of other things that there's no coincidence how much the professionals do things alike. You know, that's because a lot of times that's the correct way to do them. Not only when you talk about a shot, position, but the practice, preparation. You notice all the top players these days are in pretty darn good shape. All that's not a fluke.
Oh, definitely. I mean, you know, because it's it's a physical game, it's a mental game, and when you're doing things consistently and doing them right, I mean, that just leads to success and being positive as well.
Yeah.
You know, I know Jayson goes to the gym. You know, he takes good care of himself. DeLuna, you know, I see him in the gym quite a bit.
Yeah, you gym rats.
You know, it's a thing. You know, it really, and it helps you mentally as well. You know, you are overcoming obstacles.
Well, this sport is probably more than any other sport on earth. Now, could be wrong because don't know about all of them, and I certainly haven't thought of all of them. But when it comes to traveling abroad and traveling all around the world in your country, in your continent, I'm not sure of any other sport they do more of it.
Yeah.
You know, a guy like Jayson's, it's March. He's probably been to 6 countries this year already playing pool. I look around at the other guys on the outer tables at DeLuna, which a lot of them spend a lot of time in America playing pool. Don't get me wrong, but and so when you talk about being in shape, that really helps.
Oh yeah, it's hard on your body. I mean, the traveling and
Tell you how crazy this match is, real quick though. Joey is. We've had a few, like this is going to be our 3rd rollout that I think is going to get passed back. And you rarely ever see that in a pro match.
Yeah.
You might see one every now and again, but you don't see many. And I wouldn't blame DeLuna with a 5-3 lead. I'd hate to shoot at a shot that I'm a underdog.
Oh, definitely. I mean, do you think that the conditions are changing on this table? I mean, as the day has gone on. I mean, it's just
in what regards?
With the layouts of the breaks.
Oh yeah, well
because they hit these balls. Both of them have been hitting the balls relatively solid, but they've been tying up quite a bit.
Yeah, and you're going to get that as the tournament goes on. You're going to get a few more that maybe the rack didn't settle exactly right. Now Jayson's put in a position to where there is no safety that is really that you can be confident in. So he's going to have to take this shot that I think it's 3.5, 4 out of 10 you make, something like that. And who knows, you got to hit it with speed. Yeah, if you baby that ball trying to hold it, you know what the chances of you making that 4 ball are? Because the friction, the one's going to catch that ball so thick. You have to put speed on that ball to make that combination. And I thought position was kind of hard.
Oh, definitely. I mean, he gave himself a chance at it, but that was a very difficult shot. DeLuna's looking to probably, I mean, I can't tell if that 3 goes in the corner, or is he going to have to bump the 10 out, or bump the 3?
May play from underneath it. See if he gets close to this 2 ball. That would really help. Okay, yeah. He's going to get a little too much angle and going away from everything. So this is going to be touchy. I don't think the 3 goes, Joey. May be able to spin it in the lower left.
Yeah, because I'm looking if the cue ball is right where the 8 is at. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It looks like he could potentially throw it in, but I can't. It's hard to judge from this angle.
Well, he's not taking any extra time, so he may be doing exactly what you said, going into the 8, knowing he can throw it in with just a little bit of left, and then really kind of draw towards the cube, towards the next 4 ball.
Yeah, and you can see from this angle, folks, that's definitely doable.
And I'll tell you another thing. I think Jeffrey's been pretty sound on his decisions as far as those rollouts are concerned.
That was a really good look at the Predator ball there, the 3 ball. Yeah, giving back 3 rollouts. That's, like we said, pretty rare at this level.
That's going to hurt.
It looked like he might have slipped there. Or he just got a little quick.
Yeah, I thought he kind of decelerated. Like got quick back and then, a little bit of blah coming forward with the stroke. And that can happen when you're stretched out a lot, believe it or not.
Yeah.
But he can elevate here and pull the ball 2 rails. Now, he might catch the 10 or he might catch the 6. Oh, he's playing the side. Okay.
For 2 of the most high-powered players in this pool or in this event center, this has been a lot of movement or moving.
Yeah,
I mean, a lot of.
Can he beat the scratch going high here?
Throwing it in with a little right.
Oh, wow! Right by the pocket.
Now, I mean, this is a little bit of a tester for sure, but that last one was definitely a tester.
Yeah, and this is that angle to where it's just a little too much angle to hold it, and I'd like another inch over to move it easily. If you're an inch more behind it or something, the 6 is an inch more out, you easily swing the ball.
Yeah, playing it above the 10. Oh,
okay.
Right into the 10.
I think that was intentional, to be honest with you. He kind of drew the ball towards the 10, really couldn't get in trouble. He had the 7 in the upper corner if he drew by the 10.
That was a smart shot.
I
Because, I
think that
mean,
was
you know,
good.
shooting it underneath the 10 with spin, you can really let it get away from you.
Well, and you notice he didn't hit the 6 perfect, and but he hit it at a speed to where the pocket was a little more forgiving.
And didn't put any unnecessary spin on the 6 to hold it up at all.
Right.
Yeah, that was a smart shot. Good decision. And
it's going to go, all right, he was going to go righty, it looked like, but now going to get the bridge.
take no chances, you know.
Oh, yeah, look at that. He's righty with the bridge. You see that here and there. All right, 6-3.
Yeah, just kind of a tough break for Shaw. A couple of, well, literally tough break.
Why?
Off the break, he's hit him solid and and you know, when the one hang in the corner, and then right there, the one comes right down to the corner.
The 4 gets in the way, and
Yeah.
the thing is, can't really fault Jayson, meaning he's supposed to roll out super tough so he can get it back and try and do something with it.
Yeah.
If he rolls out simple safety or something, well, he's just taking too much the worst of it.
Prolonging the agony, right?
Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. He's just, if he rolls out to the safety, he's not going to get as good a look as he had. Even though he was an underdog to make that combo, you know, he's at least 3 or 4 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
So that's better than the kick shot probably if you roll out to the safety and the guy locks you up. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a difficult situation. I mean, you got to give yourself a shot. You have to give yourself a shot.
yeah, so he's rolled out smart, just hasn't worked out. All right, 6-3 DeLuna.
Yeah, the first game when he rolled out and he got it back and he played a great safety. So we've got DeLuna breaking on the hill.
And DeLuna will get 2 breaks to win the match, along with being able to win the match off of one of Jayson's breaks, or 2 of them actually, if it goes hill-hill.
And the referee clean it with those gloves.
Yeah, John Lehman, our head referee.
Now I'm wondering, because Carlo was breaking a little wider than he was, and he had a lot of success.
Well, I think Jeffrey's going to put more steam into him, which I think...
Maybe less. His last one, he got 5 balls by the head string.
Right.
I don't know. I guess it all depends on the rack, right?
Okay, a little off on the hit. So there's the start that Jayson needs on the comeback, but of course everything's jumbled up on the side rail here.
Yeah, you know, I was talking about it with a few players about the speed on the break and how crucial it is to find it. Because, you know, if you go 100% or if you go, you know, a little under that 70%, it's just right in that realm.
Well, that's what I was just going to get at. Good point, Joey, that I think there's a couple different speeds that work. Saw Rannis really break the balls well, not backing off much at all. Okay, he wanted to be able to kind of like coast the cue ball between the 4-5, and he may have gotten exactly there. Cutting the 2 by the 7, with a little left English.
Oh, wow.
Let the cue ball go right at the 9.
You're right. He might have that. And
I
then
think he
if
got
you miss
exactly
it,
there.
If you miss it, you...
oh, he's going the other corner. He's popping it. I'm just going to duck on the 3, I guess.
Didn't land where he wanted to, for sure. I liked your shot, though, Jeremy.
It looked like it,
Because
yeah.
look where you could leave the cue ball in case you missed it. And almost having no opportunity.
And you can get out, it looked like. It looked like he could cut it by the 7. And he had to put a little spin on it. That way he could hit it nice and heavy.
Throw it and let me control the cue ball a little more. And almost, yeah.
It looked like it laid perfect.
Yeah.
Not sure what the attack was there.
He was trying to hold that cue ball, I think.
Okay.
Just didn't get it. Maybe try to hit the point by the side. Yeah, maybe a little frustration with the way the balls have laid. You know, he hasn't done a whole lot wrong, but just hasn't really had the opportunities.
Jayson usually doesn't do a whole lot wrong. Okay, just one shot speed control really here. He's got some work, don't get me wrong, but one crucial shot here to start coming in between the 5 and 10. Thing is just don't mind the cut to the side or the corner. If you don't mind the little cut and letting the cue ball move, well, hard to really get hooked.
Yeah.
If you want to get straight in on the 4 in the corner, well, you could get hooked. Oh, he's going to go the other side. This might be even smarter. That way he just easily goes into the, if he needs to go into the edge of the 9 off the rail, that's no problem.
I think he might have gotten perfect. Which that was a very good touch if he did.
Yeah, nothing really needs moved, but if he wanted to go the rail and just bump the 9 ever so slightly, it's not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
nice.
guess, yeah, you just have to be careful you don't bump the 9.
And get jacked up
yeah.
on the 8, right?
With all balls fouls, you know, we've seen some stuff.
Yeah, how about last year's U.S. Open?
That's what I was actually that's what I was referring to a little, because that was just, we all thought that he was probably going to come back, breaking and running on a tear, and then to touch it and lose like that.
Okay, I'd like to be down below the 10 to shoot the 7. Only reason being is there's not a real great place from above to get on the 8 shooting the 7, right? So you'd like to be down a ways, I think, but
Yeah, you're
that
right.
10's a big ball. And it's not that you can't go up towards where like the 6 is to shoot the 8, but that's not really what you want, right?
Is he going to go hard draw right here?
Maybe. I don't blame him there, though. He might get a funny below the 7, but most likely he won't. And now he's perfect.
Got a nice little rub. He's perfect. Play it 3 rails, 1 rail.
I think 3, at least 2. Because if you play it 1, you're going to be going away from the 8. I think you're so close to the 7, 3 rails, no problem.
Yeah, you can play it. I mean, really, can't really miss it.
And you get really a little closer to that 8 ball.
Yeah.
All right, so Jeffrey DeLuna, who's been playing really well, obviously, and he's going to advance, it looks like.
Just spin this ball and don't spin it at all. Just draw it straight back.
Mm-hmm. Shaw will go on, I believe, in the next round to play Skylar Woodward.
Yeah, that just goes to show the caliber in this tournament.
Oh, yeah.
You lose your second match and you're playing a world champion, you know. Well, good match from DeLuna there.
Yeah, and Jayson Shaw will practice one shot, it looks like, to see what happened with it. And I'm Jeremy Jones with Joey Gray. Stay tuned for more coming to you live from the Las Vegas Pro 10 Ball. We'll be back.
So when you look over, it's like,
Got it.
you know what I mean?
So, two things. First, what if the extension was physically here?
Well, yeah, it'd be better there, and you'd have a
And
green
green,
one, green
okay.
one, green one, and then when it doesn't,
Then this is orange.
Yeah, well,
and
you-
goes here, and then just the last 5 are red.
yeah. So you do
better.
green and green, and then when you get 5 seconds, or you use it, it just turns black or red.
Okay,
You know what I
for
mean?
the World 10 ball,
Yeah.
I can get that fixed. So it would be better for you if these 5 correspond to the sound.
Yeah.
So only 5 are red. So
Yeah.
put